Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sporting Perspective. It is the first round of the college football playoff starting tomorrow, and we have games Friday and Saturday. Yeah, this is one of our last college football shows of the season. The bowl season is well in play, but we got some news to break, I guess, or some topics to talk about before we get started. Um, I'm going to just pass it over to James here on this first topic. The portal has been activated, I guess is the best way to put it, and we've seen a lot of quarterbacks declaring they're saying adios to their old programs. Um, I know you got a list of a couple guys you want to talk about. I'll pass it over to you. Who are some of the names that caught your attention this past week?
Yeah, I know. So ASU quarterback Sam Levitt, I know we mentioned him. I looked it up. I don't know if he's technically in the portal yet. Everything says he's entering the portal, but I don't know if he's officially submitted. I mean that would be the biggest ASU student mishap would be he forgets to submit his ticket to the portal. Those idiots down there in Tempe. Maybe he's one of them. But he is most likely going to be the top, if not the number two guy when it comes to quarterbacks in the portal. We saw two big names who haven't quite lived up to their potential, and then one who I personally think is the best quarterback out there to go get as it stands today, and that's Cincinnati quarterback Brendan Sorsby. He had a really good year. A really good year. Cincinnati was vying for a playoff spot for quite some time. Um, I did a little digging, and by doing a little digging, I messed around on Twitter, searched his name a little bit, found out that his girlfriend is a volleyball player at Cincinnati. She actually transferred to Texas Tech. So whether Sorsby decides to actually continue with this transfer or declare for the draft, Texas Tech might be an option for him. One of the other quarterbacks I'll mention, or I guess I'll mention two more. DJ Lagway, Florida quarterback, super talented. I think that's the key word right there is talented. He hasn't quite put it to paper yet. Obviously, he's leaving Florida. We'll see where he goes. I really don't have a projection for him. I don't know. I mean, I don't think he'll downgrade per se. He could go to an LSU. He could go to. I don't know. If he goes to the right spot, I think that he still has a lot of potential. And then the last one is Nebraska quarterback Dylan Raiola. Again, a good quarterback, solid college quarterback. He was a 5-star recruit out of high school. I want to say he was like the number one or number two high school quarterback in his class. So he'll also be an interest. I mean, there's so many places you could go right now. I mean, someone's got to replace Fernando Mendoza in Indiana. Penn State, I think they'll probably need a quarterback. Is Aller gone? He could come back, I guess,
I
maybe.
guess. Yeah, I'm not too sure.
Obviously, Texas Tech's a destination. Someone's going to go play quarterback for Lane Kiffin at LSU. So there's a lot of openings at different places, a lot of quarterback carousel movement going on. So
Yeah.
that's really all I got on transfer news. Obviously, every day someone news going in the portal. I'm sure there'll be more after, depending if Oklahoma or Alabama loses or in Oregon or James Madison, once those games are over, I'm sure the teams that lose, you'll see some players go into the transfer portal.
Yeah, and there's a couple that I wanted to mention too. North Texas quarterback, he threw for a ton of yards. Apparently, he came out yesterday that he was like Indiana's like top choice, and it sounds like they're in a debacle now on money. So we'll see if that one happens. Missouri's quarterback entered the portal this morning. He's a big name. When he was playing, Missouri was playing well. So he's going to be another one to add list. And the last one, which was yesterday as well, is just kind of funny and just kind of shows the chaos of college football. TJ Finley, which I don't even know where he's transferred. Georgia something. I don't know where he's at these days. The only reason I bring that up is this will be that wherever he goes next, if he goes somewhere, This will be the 8th school he plays quarterback for.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah. So this shows you the chaos that we're living in here, and certain cases of a logjam. Um, he's played a lot of different places, and actually, you know what? I'll just look it up really fast just for the kicks of it because we have a second. Um, just so you know his age and everything like that. This would be a fun can you fill it all in carousel situation. Georgia State right now is where he is currently playing quarterback, and he's not great.
Who is this?
TJ Finley.
TJ or DJ?
TJ.
TJ.
So,
Interesting.
he enrolled at LSU in January of 2020, then transferred to Auburn, Texas State, Western Kentucky, Tulane, Georgia State. That's his full runaround. So sorry, this would be school number 7, not 8.
Wow. He's a monster too. He's 6'7".
And the crazy thing is, he's actually played a game all 6 years. So he will probably get playing time.
So say those. So I'm okay. So ESPN has LSU, Auburn, Texas State, Western Kentucky, Georgia State. You
Yes,
said
and
Tulane.
he also transferred to Tulane.
Maybe
And
he must have never had a snap.
oh, here's why. So he transferred to Tulane. Basically, this time last year, the 16th, last December 16th, and then on April 4th, Finley was suspended indefinitely following an arrest for illegal possession of a stolen vehicle.
Oh, good.
And then he went to Georgia State. So yeah, this is the fun chaos that we live in. So you have those stories that are just great. And hey, the shocking thing about it is he's only 23 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm going to add one more. Colton Joseph, the Old Dominion quarterback, he didn't play in the bowl game. When was that? Yesterday or 2 days ago when Old Dominion played.
Yeah.
He had already put his name into the transfer portal. He's someone that typing his name in right now, looking at Google. Florida looks like it could be a possibility.
Yeah.
Wisconsin. So, heck, even ASU. Actually,
Yeah.
this says ASU football options include Dylan Raiola and DJ Lagway. So that's a team I didn't even think about that. They're losing Sam Levitt. I know they're bringing in a 4-star, I want to say a 4-star quarterback, high school kid. He's supposed to be pretty good. But, I mean, if you can go get a Raiola or a Lagway, I mean, that just obviously makes Kenny Dillingham's job a little easier having a veteran college quarterback.
I mean, we're very well. There's a very good chance that we're going to see the best quarterback play we've ever seen before in college football next year. With the amount of the guys that are sticking around, the amount of guys that are transferring from place to place, there's going to be so many quarterbacks that we already know the names to because they've stuck around, and then just new recruits coming in. There's going to be some great quarterback play throughout the country next year, in my opinion.
And this is just quarterbacks we're talking about. That's not to mention I've seen some big name wide receivers put themselves in the portal already. A couple running backs. Obviously every position's going to have the best at that position. So there's already some pretty big names.
Yeah.
So I do want to pose one question for you before we move on to our predictions of this college football playoff. Obviously we know all the stuff that went down in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
It's taking a while for them to figure out who their head coach is. I know off air we talked about this a little bit, about how we've seen some articles saying that Michigan could be in a rough spot, and maybe that's why guys aren't committing to the offers that are getting thrown out there yet. Right now, as we stand, prediction, who do you have a predict, like gun to your head, who's the next Michigan head coach?
So my feeling is, unfortunately, it's kind of eluding your question a little bit, but I think if Alabama loses tomorrow, DeVore takes the job by the end of the weekend. I think that's what happens. If Alabama makes a run, he sticks around, and I'm going to be honest with you, Chargers, the coordinator, very possible. We've heard his name getting thrown around a lot. Outside of that, I don't know. I really don't know. It's with everything that's going on with the investigation, everything like that. The AD probably in trouble, and the recruits are pissed, and a lot of guys putting their name in the portal. I don't know. I think it's going to be DeVore though, because this Alabama game is a 50-50.
I'm still going to throw Kenny Dillingham out there. I know ASU fans and people are interviewing him, and he's committed. For people only listening on audio, I'm putting up the quotation marks in the air. He's saying things the right way without committing to ASU, if that makes sense. He's saying, I love it here. I don't want to leave. To me, it seems like he's still mulling over the possibility. ASU also, if I was ASU, I would lock him up, sign him to a extension. That hasn't happened, which makes me think that he's still in the running.
Yeah, yeah,
So
we'll see.
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, that said, there hasn't been too much exciting college football news since we last talked, but we do have the first round of the college football playoff starting uh, on Friday. So let's just kind of go into games. The higher seed gets to host these games, so little advantage there. And if we go back to last year format, every single home team won this round last year. Home field advantage is definitely a big key. Before we get into picking games, I do want to mention one thing and ask you a question really quick. So two of these games are rematches from earlier in the year, and then the third game is a series that was a home away series for Miami, Texas A&M just a couple years back. Does it make it a little less exciting that these teams have played each other so frequently as just this past a couple months ago?
I don't think so. I think I I think with just attaching the CFP
Mm,
to each game, people are still going to be intrigued. I mean, I know the whole point of the bowls prior to the playoffs were, pegging teams and conferences against each other, so you see matchups that you typically don't see during the regular season. But uh, it is kind of a coincidence. It's funny how it's worked out this year, but
yep.
I don't I don't think so. I mean, I think these are all deserving teams, and theoretically, I think they'll be better games than we think.
Yeah.
I know the spreads for the Tulane, Ole Miss, and James Madison, Oregon, uh, aren't. If you're a fan of either of those, James Madison or Tulane, it can't be too good of a feeling seeing those spread totals. But um, yeah, you made it, so
Yep.
prove to the country why you belong.
All right. Well, let's jump into those games. The first one being Friday night, the 8 seed Oklahoma hosting the 9 seed Alabama. This is one of those rematches that happened earlier this year, and Oklahoma won that game. Um, Alabama, last time we saw them, they were getting destroyed to Georgia. Do they bounce back? Who do you have here in this 8-9 matchup?
I'm taking the home team in Oklahoma. I really, throughout the week, I've been kind of just saying Alabama to myself. I still don't think Oklahoma's great offensively, but I think they have a solid defense. I think if Mateer can have a decent game, they should be okay. Oklahoma also has a really good special teams, and Alabama does not. And I think the chatter in the air of DeBoer being linked to Michigan kind of stirs the pot a little bit. So by going on the road, coaching chatter, I think it just gets to Alabama a little too much. I don't want to take Oklahoma, but I'm going to take Oklahoma at home.
Both of these teams are flawed in their own individual ways. No team in 130 years has beaten Alabama twice in the same year. So,
Interesting.
with that said, I will take Alabama because it's tough to beat them twice. But I am going to put a little caveat here. We're going to know in the first 6 minutes of this game if Alabama wants to be there, I guess is the best way to put it. If they come out flat, I think we have all our answers of what's going on. I think the team gave up, divorce gone, all that stuff. I think the first quarter, first half of the first quarter is going to be really telling to see the answers that we've been kind of wondering for the last couple of weeks. I'm going to take Alabama because 130 years is a long time. What does our simulation say?
Simulation has Oklahoma winning 31-24.
Okay, not bad. Let's go over to Saturday morning. Sorry. Saturday morning, where number 10 Miami goes to College Station to take on Texas A&M. They hold the 7 seed. As I mentioned before, they had a home and away series in 2022-2023, so it hasn't been too long since these two teams saw each other, or at least fan bases.
So I'm going with that trend of last year. I'm taking A&M. I think Kyle Field's a hard place to play. Now, granted, a lot of people are probably going to be mad that Miami's in this spot. There was a lot of controversy, obviously, with who the committee selected between Miami and Notre Dame. I think this is going to be a really, really good defensive game if you're into defenses. If you're not, maybe this game won't be for you. What's that DN's name? Bain?
Oh, for Texas A&M?
No, for
Miami?
Miami. Isn't it Ruben Bain? I think it's Ruben Bain. He's supposed to be one of the top edge rushers in the country. I mean, he's been projected. I've seen him going number 1 overall. I mean, people were saying he should have been up for the Heisman. So he's someone I think you should keep an eye on when it comes to Miami's defense. But like I said, I think this is just going to be kind of a gritty and grimy game. Every time Carson Beck throws the ball, if you're a Miami Hurricane fan, I'm sure your heart skips a beat. It just looks like he's going to throw an interception every time he throws. But like you said, all the home teams last year won it. Having that home field advantage is huge. Kyle Field is also one of the hardest places to play. Miami's going to be out there to try to prove the committee wrong, but I just don't think they have enough. So I'm not a believer in why am I blanking on the quarterback? Carson Beck.
Beck.
I'm not a believer in Carson Beck, so I'm going to take the Aggies.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the things that you just said, I'm kind of backing. I think this is going to be a defensive struggle. Beck is not someone I really trust. Reed, especially this last month, is someone I don't really trust. Defenses are going to play well. Kyle Field's a tough place to play. I'm going to take Texas A&M. Don't feel great about it. This may not be the greatest watch because I think it is going to be a defensive struggle, but it's going to be a close game. I'll take Texas A&M, and unfortunately the winner of this gets to play Georgia, which is going to be really, really tough. So, yeah. Or wait, no. Do they play Georgia or Ohio State? My goodness, I just blinked on the bracket.
I'd have to look it up. I don't have it.
They play Ohio State. My bad. They play Ohio State. I blinked on the bracket there for a second. So, yeah, Texas A&M for me. So let's go on to the next one. The 11 seed Tulane heading to Ole Miss, 6 seed. They played in September with Ole Miss winning 45-10. Obviously, a lot of controversy going into this game with Kiffin gone, Tulane's coach sticking around. I don't know. What do you got?
I think if there is to be an upset, this is the game to look at. Jake Retzlaff, I think, is a really good quarterback. He accounts for like more than half of their rushing touchdowns. So not only can he sling it, he can run it too. Ole Miss does have a good defense, but I think Lane Kiffin not being there is going to be a huge problem. And I'm still picking Ole Miss to win, but I think this is going to be a closer game than that, whatever you said it was, 45-10 or something like that. But, I think the spread is around, last I checked, like 17 or 17 and a half. I think Tulane can cover. I think they have a really good offense. Ole Miss is going to stymie that offense, but I think Tulane, I think they score just enough to at least cover the spread. I don't think they'll win, but it wouldn't surprise me, not to jump ahead or anything, but I think Oregon wipes the floor with James Madison. I think Tulane actually has a shot. So I'm still picking Ole Miss, but it'll be interesting just because they lost a lot losing Lane Kiffin.
I think it's going to be, as you said, I think it's going to be a closer game than the line gives it credit for. I think it's going to be a better game than the September version of this. That said, I still think Ole Miss is going to win. I think it's going to be I think it's going to be a game where, when it's all said and done, the scoreboard might say something, but you're going to just walk away being like, "Oh, Miss had that in control the whole way." But it's throughout the game, it's going to feel a little eerie. I think, but when we're all said and done of it, it's going to be like a two score. They win by 10, 12, something like that, and all the stories were right. It was never in doubt. But it'll be an unwritten thing of like, Tulane had a shot here and there. So um, it'll be better than the September matchup, in my opinion. Finally, the 5. Oh, sorry. I don't know if we did the
Simulation.
simulation for Miami, did we?
Oh no, we didn't. Yeah, so
Oh,
simulation for my. I'll do the next. Yeah, so simulation for Miami, Texas A&M. Uh, this is interesting. Miami 42, Texas A&M 14.
okay. Well, that's a lot of points. Okay.
And then maybe this game knows more than we do. Tulane 31, Ole Miss 30.
Jeez. That would be a great game. Last one, 12 seed James Madison heading to Autzen Stadium to take on the 5 seed Oregon. I think last I checked, this is a 21-point line right now. I've got Oregon. I'm guessing you do too.
Yeah, I think the potential and the potency of the Oregon offense, the potential's there. They just haven't really shown it all year. This is your opportunity, Oregon, to show the country that you really are a top 10 team.
Yeah.
It's just been a weird year for them. Dante Moore's had a good year. He's getting a couple of his top targets back in Decorian Moore and Gary Bryant, so that'll help. And it's just Oregon. I mean, they're gonna have cool uniforms. They're at home in Autzen. Autzen's a tough place to play. They have the talent. The team is there. Now is the time to put the pedal to the metal. Now that this tournament's starting, so I think they cover, and I think they blow out James Madison.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest question mark with Oregon, especially late in the season, has really been just the fact that they've dealt with so many injuries. So hopefully this time off, these past few weeks, they've been able to get some of their guys back. I mean, I think it was the USC game. You know, Moore was throwing his number one receiver that day was technically their fifth receiver on the depth chart. I mean, throwing to tight ends that I don't even know who the hell they are. It's just they've been pretty banged up. So hopefully this time off has gotten them good and refreshed, and they kind of they don't let James Madison hang around because that's when it'll get scary. So
Don't they have the? Is that starting tight end for Oregon? Is he going to play? The kid who's supposed to be like the number one tight end in the
Sadiq
NFL
will,
draft.
Sadiq will play, and Sadiq's
Yeah.
really good.
Okay.
He's going to be a better. I mean, he's really good at Oregon. Don't get me wrong, but he's going to be a better pro than he was a college player, and it's because he's great at blocking. He's going to be kind of like if he gets in that right system, he's going to be very similar to a Travis Kelsey type if he gets into that right system. So, um, but yeah, well, that's the first
Simulation.
weekend. Oh, simulation, yeah, that's
Simulation has Oregon winning 41-34.
a lot of scoring in that one. Jeez. Um, all right, well, that's the first round, and we'll see if these predictions come true. Before we sign off, we're going to do just a quick top five because it is bowl season, and the college football playoff has so much taken over bowl season. We've decided to create a top five of our bowl games that we wish would never go away in some shape or form. So we'll just go right on into it. I'll let you go first. Who do you got at number five?
So I put down the Hawaii Bowl. I've never been, but if there was a bowl game to not go away, leave the Hawaii Bowl for me because then I'll travel and go to Hawaii, hang out. Even if it's this year it's Hawaii versus Cal.
Yeah.
Not the greatest game, but you're in Hawaii.
Yeah, and it's cool because it's always got that designation that it plays on Christmas Eve, which is really cool. So, my number five is a little bit of recency bias, I gotta admit, but it's because they do such a great job with their social media team. I put the Pop Tart Bowl because it's just very exciting to see. It's the only one I have a lot of recency bias for, but I give them a lot of credit for, in this college football playoff era, it's one of the few ones that people actively pay attention to, and it will be trending on Twitter the night or the day of the game because of just the silliness going down.
So number 4, I put the Duke's Mayo Bowl. Um, Mainly just because I want to see someone get drenched in mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm not a fan of mayonnaise. The older I've gotten, I mean, I'll put it on sandwiches here and there. It depends. Like it's funny. At home, if I'm making a sandwich, I put mayonnaise on it. If I go out to a Jimmy John's, a Subway, any kind of sandwich spot, I never get mayonnaise. But
Okay.
I wouldn't say mayonnaise is my favorite.
Yeah.
But hey, I'll watch it on TV when someone's getting drenched in it.
All right. So my number 4 is the Alamo Bowl, bowl game that's been going on for a long time. It's really cool that it's getting played in that stadium that really doesn't get used for really anything except for like conventions and rodeo shows now. But it does bring a big buzz to the city. It seems like that game always gets sold out. San Antonio really kind of embraces it. So I'm going to put the Alamo Bowl. It's got a good tradition, and then on top of it, it doesn't hurt the fact of it feels like every single year that's one of the highest scoring bowl games.
Yeah, I think that was 2 years ago when Arizona had that good year. I think Arizona beat Oklahoma in the Alamo
Yeah,
Bowl.
yeah,
So number 3, I have the Pop Tart Bowl. Literally for everything you said, I want to see. I want to see that little mascot get roasted and eaten.
yeah. This year you get to pick from 6 of them, so they're
There you
expanding.
go.
There we go.
Always brown sugar cinnamon. That's my
Okay,
favorite.
all right. So my number 3, I've got the Holiday Bowl purely for the fact that it's in San Diego. It's always gorgeous weather. That game also always seems to be sold out because people are willing to travel to San Diego during the winter months, um, and they just do a good job of hosting. I feel like you know it's one of those bowl games where if there's only like 16-10 left and it's all part of the playoff, I feel like that would be a great destination spot to put it into the rotation. So San Diego's Holiday Bowl goes into number 3.
Number 2, I threw down the Rose Bowl, basically just because it's an iconic stadium where they play in Pasadena. It's UCLA's home stadium, um, and the parade. I mean, it's one of those parades where I wake up whether you're hungover from New Year's Eve. I don't even is the Rose Bowl on New Year's Day this
It'll
year?
be interesting to see how they do it this year because I believe the Rose Bowl is on New Year's Day. So then what they generally have done is they do the Rose Bowl like really early, the parade early morning,
Yep.
or they'll do it on the 31st instead.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always I'll tune in to the Parade of Roses. It's always kind of a fun watch. So, um, obviously back in the day, it used to be Big Ten, Pac-12
Hmm.
as the matchup. We're probably not going to get that anymore. Obviously with the Pac-12 disbanding, but it's still just I think one of the coolest games. Obviously, it's now a part of the college football playoff, and yeah, Parade of Roses is always pretty cool.
Yeah. So my 2, I'm a little biased on this one, but I went Fiesta Bowl. I've been to a lot of Fiesta Bowls, but on top of it, Phoenix is a great place to be in December, early January. So I feel like it has to be included. It's one of the big 4 bowl games, but on top of that, it's one of the best places to be in December, January, around the New Year's. So I put Fiesta Bowl too.
So Fiesta Bowl is my number 1 for literally everything you said. It's in Arizona. It also has a parade. I remember going to the parade on Central
Yeah,
as a child quite often with a lot of my cousins.
I'm sure you were in the parade at some point.
I'm trying to think of. I worked for the Fiesta Bowl with my grandma working for the Fiesta Bowl. I remember I interned a couple years at the Fiesta Bowl. There was one year when Luis Gonzalez, it must have been right after
World
2001. It must
Series.
have been, yeah, he was the Grand Marshal like 2 months after they won the World Series. So I got to meet him at the Fiesta Bowl office. And then obviously, with my grandma working at the Fiesta Bowl, it was just nomenclature that every year I went. And I never, until I got a lot older, I looked back and I was like, wow, talk about being very lucky and very fortunate because those tickets are a lot of money and
Yeah,
and a
yeah,
lot of those games were fun. I mean, I got to go for free to the Oklahoma Boise State game.
yeah, yeah.
So, fun story about that. I got given the option. So basically, my grandma said, "You pick if you want to go to the national championship, which is Miami. Was it Miami, Ohio State, or
Oh, that was Ohio State, Florida.
Ohio State, Florida?"
Yeah,
She was like, "You can go to the national championship or the Fiesta Bowl. You pick." And I don't know why I picked the Fiesta Bowl. Normally, you'd be like, "I'm going to the national championship." Well, that national championship was a blowout.
yeah.
I think Ted Ginn returned the kickoff on the first play, and then Ohio State didn't score. I don't think the rest of the game, if not till the very end. But yeah, obviously that Fiesta Bowl between Boise State and Oklahoma was super iconic. Um, Remembered with the Statue of Liberty and the hook and ladder. So yeah, Fiesta Bowl to me is the best game. But I'm also, like you said, I'm biased because I've been to a lot of them.
Yeah. So my number one, you've already mentioned it, and it's for a lot of the same reasons. Rose Bowl, granddaddy of them all. Very iconic stadium, very iconic situation. I've been lucky to go to a couple Rose Bowls in my day. The only thing that sucks is parking and driving there. But once you're there, it's a fantastic venue, and just overall really really fun game. I'm happy they've got a part of the playoff. It makes it special, but I feel like it's on a different level than every other bowl game in my opinion.
It's funny that the two we have at 1 and 2 are flip flopped in the Fiesta Bowl and Rose Bowl, but two West Coast
Hmm.
bowls. I don't know. There's maybe we're biased because we're on the West Coast, but it just doesn't seem like the Orange Bowl, the Peach Bowl, the Sugar Bowl just have the same allure as like
No, I kind of feel the same way. I mean, Orange Bowl. I mean, the Orange Bowl is not even played at the Orange Bowl anymore. It's played at whatever it's called,
Dolphins.
Hard
Yeah,
Rock now. And then Peach Bowl. There's so many games that happen at Mercedes Benz that it just feels like another game to me. Sugar Bowl is in there. I think Sugar Bowl special, especially if you love New Orleans. And then the other one I was thinking about was Cotton Bowl, but Cotton Bowl kind of the same thing. It now gets played at AT&T, and
it's overshadowed by the Cowboys.
a lot of games get played at AT&T. So it's not like a special venue. And for me, the fact that the Rose Bowl is played at the Rose Bowl is really really cool.
Yeah,
So you don't get a lot of those these days. So, and I will add on to this, and we'll finish on this question. I am not a fan of these games being played in baseball stadiums because you see too many guys running into the walls and stuff like that. I am not a fan of it. So I know it's a fun experience to see it, but I can't believe we're still doing this. Where you
yeah.
see the
Fenway.
dimensions and like you're like, oh my god, like the wall is 3 feet off of like the end zone line. Like that doesn't seem safe.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So Fenway has a game. So Fenway has a game. Yankee Stadium has a game. Chase Field has a game.
I don't know if Wrigley has a game, but they had games there during the regular season.
Yeah, yeah. We should be able to move past that. Like, it's one thing when
Miami,
the Raiders had to play at the Coliseum because that's just where they were playing. But like, we have
yeah,
enough stadiums now. Don't we don't need to use a baseball stadium
yeah,
for
we
a
don't
bowl.
need to use the baseballs. I think Miami has a game too. They
Oh,
used to have a game.
a Marlins Stadium.
Yeah, the Marlins used to have. And the
Lone
reason,
Depot. Is it Lone Depot Park?
yeah, the only reason I remember that was like it was 10 years ago that they were playing a bowl game. There, I remember that ended with a massive fight.
Oh, I don't remember that.
It was BYU and someone else, and it was like, man, why are we still doing this? Playing games in like baseball stadiums, especially when there's so many different options out there.
I
So
think the last baseball stadium football game I went to was, I don't know what it's called now in Phoenix, but it used to be the Insight Bowl. But the last the last Insight Bowl game I went to was
At Chase Field.
what's that?
It was at Chase Field.
Yeah, it was at Chase Field, but it was Virginia Tech Pitt.
Oh, wow. That was a long time ago.
Because it was Larry Fitzgerald versus Marcus Vick.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that was a long time ago. Yikes.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll go this year. It's on the
because
26th.
prior to Chase Field, it was at ASU Stadium. So.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. Well, hey, if anyone's bored in Tucson, you can go watch Miami, Ohio versus Fresno State in the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl.
Hell yeah.
But hey, how much do you think? By the way, how much do you think he cares? He's performing on Christmas Day in Dallas, and then 2 days later he's over there. But all right, whatever.
I don't know. Snoop's everywhere, and then a couple days later he's going to be doing all the Olympic coverage.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
So I don't know. Whoever Snoop's PR guy is, props to him because he's got Snoop doing everything.
Makes a lot of
Snoop
money.
and Marshawn Lynch are just
Yeah.
doing it all.
All right. Well, let's sign off for this one, and we'll be back probably next Tuesday before all the Christmas games. Probably on the 23rd this upcoming week, and then we're on Baby Watch, so we'll see what happens there. Something.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, until next week, guys. We'll see you all later.